midfield. What do they expect from you in your actual part of the game? What do they expect from you? Not that much differently than last year, for example. Of course, it's a bit different when you look at the attacking style of play. I need to be more decisive in my dribbles, in my passes, as well in my defensive role. I'm strong. My strength is in a defensive role. I can make a difference, but it's not that different if you look at this last year. We played together with Mats now. He does quite the same thing. He can attack and defend as well. So we need to find a new balance. And I think in the last games we did quite well. If you look at the friendly game against Excelsior, he played, then the 1-1 fell. You were involved and the goal conceded. Was this a moment that you analyzed regarding a Champions League match? No, this is not something that can happen, not against Excelsior or in Champions League. But I do remember our analysis after the game and that the coach was quite clear in what didn't go that well, and not only that moment. So yes, it cannot happen, not in Champions League, not against Excelsior. So what was the analysis? Can you tell us? I think that the rest of the defense in the counter-attack wasn't that well. I took too many risks in my passing, and the switching right after that moment wasn't that good. So basically, it's that. Next, TV Raymond, we'll get back to you in a minute. Thanks a lot. Quinten, good afternoon. The last three games, considering these matches, are you happy playing for Feyenoord? If you look at these three matches, well, I'm always happy. If I look back on these games and I start each game with a lot of gratitude. If it ends up well, if it finishes in a different way than we'd expected, this joy to play here is always there. It looks like you played the same position as Organ Kuksu last year. You almost play one-on-one the same role like he had. Big shoes to fill, can you say so? Oh, he's a great player, definitely. But if you look at it that way, then it will be more difficult. I don't think about it that much, how he played. I don't look at it that way. Last year we played together a lot. I know his qualities and I bring up my own qualities as well. I try to do it my own way as well as I can. So each time we try to do better, that's the most important thing to me and the only thing that I can dominate or control. And I can also learn a lot from him. I did that last year. It will be the first time that you can hear the Champions League hymn. What does it mean to you? Difficult to tell. Difficult. I was outside in the stadium here. The feeling when I came here, the feeling when I sit here, it's a different feeling. Everybody tells me it's special. You should enjoy it. After the game on Saturday with Quinten, we went back in the same car and we said to each other, on Tuesday we'll be there at Champions League. We've had a different route towards this position than which we came here. We had a different youth academy or we went through a different route in life. But still, we're here together now. During a Champions League match, that's really special. And now, only by telling so, it gives me goosebumps. So yeah, that's only beautiful, I could say so. Do you think where can you harm Celtic? Do you think you can make it difficult to them? We want to go and show beautiful football. We want to play with high pressure. Combine these two things combined, I think that we can show a good result. Good luck. Thanks a lot. Same row. I'm sorry, but this is the order that I need to follow. Each ESPN. Next question after you. Quinten, your coach, last time mentioned that the best football since he was a coach regarding his former team AZ as well. Best match you played last week, was it your best match? Would you say so? Yes. Why is it so special playing in this team? I think the whole team, if you are on the pitch and you feel the first 25 minutes playing really, really well, the counter press is going really well, and you can continue attacking, that just feels great as a team, as a player. And if you can do so each week, well, that would be great. Last season we spoke about midfield. Do you think that the midfield is quite set up right now? I think that the last games went quite well, and the whole team is. You need to look for it. You need to find our new balance, find what's logical for us as a team. It can be difficult for us, but I think we did really well in the first games. You guys have only a few Champions League experience in the Champions League. Can this be a disadvantage for you guys that you don't know how you should perform at this level? This is something that you cannot control. Well, we do know it will be difficult, of course, against Celtic as well, but have. I think everybody knows that we do not have the Champions League experience, but we still want to play a high pressure. This is the most important thing to us. Next question for you, NOS Joep. You're playing here for 1 year now. What's the difference regarding 1 year ago and looking at it now, not only for you, but if you look at a team, what's the biggest difference? There are a lot of different players, that's one thing I can tell you for sure. For me, it all was different 1 year ago, but now we have played a lot of games, we've faced a lot of injuries, several things we went through. As a person, you're further now. I think these are the most important things that can make a difference. The coach is sitting next to you. He talks a lot to you, right? Yes, he does. Everybody in the team does. Is he always happy about you? Is he always satisfied with your game? No, no, no. If it was like that, then oof. What's a thing, or what does he tell you that in which you should improve? As I can speak for myself, maybe it's a question you should ask him. And the coach says that, hey, come on, we need to train in a little bit. I think that you need to perform constantly on a high level and a high pace, be more constantly, and especially at the level of Champions League, the level is so high against a team like Celtic, who's performing really well. So let me conclude. Everything is okay, but you should do in a higher level. Well, that's your conclusion. Not everything is okay, but there are some actions that I take during a game I can improve with. Okay, last small thing. Maybe about your brother. How's he doing? Yeah, thanks for asking. Thanks for asking. He's doing really well. No, he's fine, really. His recovery, he's going through his recovery. Yes. He's quite busy recovering. Also, mentally, he's better. It will take a long time, but like we just said, it will be a beautiful week, and this is great news for him as well, for me as well. One last question for Quinten, at the same position on the other side. Then we continue with the head coach. You just mentioned that you play with Curie Lindsay. You don't have any Champions League experience, but you grew up by playing against the best teams, even in tournaments in Europe. In what way has this shaped you as a player, and how does it help you? Oh, yes, definitely, it helped me. These are games that you play under high pressure, and you can measure yourself with other players. And tomorrow we do something similar, you. So yes, it helped. Thank you all. Thank Quinten. Thank you, Quinten. Good luck. Thank you, guys, says the coach. Yes, you can stay on that side with the microphone. Okay, one more row behind you. Arne, one question. Ziggo Sports logo types, sponsors, they all changed into Champions League logo types. Do you feel any excitement? How do you feel? Not yet, not yet. I'm busy now analyzing Celtic and how we can train in a minute and what conversation I should have, and if you to go tomorrow to the stadium when you're inside. I can't imagine that how can we have a better atmosphere as if we had played Conference League last year. It cannot even better, but yes, the hymn, the anthem, the Champions League anthem, yes, that's different. I cannot deny. So these differences, how would you say so? I try to maintain my world as small as possible, and it's good to see that the structure of the club is really small, and you can see all the person working here in this club. They are here at the club working together, and I haven't noticed any Champions League like nerves. And besides that, yesterday was my birthday, so everybody was quite busy with that instead of playing Champions League. So no, 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 I do not experience or feel it in that way. But I do think that if you look at the club and everybody's preparing the game for tomorrow, but we just try to do the same thing and preparing our next game. Oh yeah, by the way, congratulations on your birthday. Thank you. If we compare Feyenoord, the last three games with the first two, it's much better. It sparkles. What have you done specifically to change the situations? Everybody talks about it this evening. Can you take us with everybody can have his own opinion, but you ask my opinion, and I think that we were unlucky in the first games. We got a red card after only 20 minutes, but also the opponent should have had a red card after 60 minutes. If that would have happened, I don't think we would have lost these 2 points. But against Sparta, we were definitely the better team. And when I analyzed the data, we have been most times in their box. As a coach of Feyenoord, we haven't been more in the box than during that game. So if I do pronounce his name, Ivanucci, also we have a new player who has many impressive, who can create impressive situations, and thanks to him, we were able to create occasions, goal opportunities, and also switch these occasions into goals. So I do not see that many differences, except for playing with 10 men and 10 players. But even with 10 players, we had a lot of ball possession. We tried to attack constantly, and the last three games, I think it's like a continuation of the first two games, but we lost 2 points, and I think they were quite expensive, so to say in Dutch, to lose these 2 points. Playing at home, does this make you the favorite team, or don't you think you can say so? Well, I say 5 games. You could say three. It's obvious that we played really well, but it's also obvious that we have, that we had better qualities. Now we will face or encounter two other teams who will play at the same level as us. So we have to show the same quality. We want to win. We have to win. We want to show that we can do it in the same way as we have just did in these games, and compared to the team we had last year, we still want to continue with our own system. Last year, many times we won 1-0, 2-0, a lot of difficulties, but the team of last year was capable of playing really constantly, and to win a game when you didn't have that much ball possession. I think that tomorrow, but also on Sunday, we need to face this or encounter these problems and try to do so against teams who are similar to us or have the same qualities. Well, we spoke with Rafael van der Vaart. He says that Timber is one of the best midfielders in the Netherlands. He should play in the national team. Obviously, he agreed, but what do you think? Would you say it has something to do with his Ajax history of Rafael? I think he would have said it like because of his past, right? He started in the youth teams of Feyenoord, though, so let's not forget about that. You already asked for the points in which he can improve, so if you ask me, then you can see that when he made this special action, or you can see his skills, and if you see, there were too many breaks between these special moments or these actions that he should show more often. He became more fit, and now he's capable of not only doing once every 50 minutes, but much more often. So to become a top player, I think that you need the quality to perform at this level. To reach that level, it should be more than only once in every 15 minutes. So against the smaller teams, he's showing or walking, he's going well, but hopefully he can show the same thing against Celtic tomorrow as well. Next question, ESPN. Feyenoord has played the best football under your command, and you could say tomorrow, how would you say with 4, 5, 6 goals? I've said many times already that we played really good football. So yes, I did mention what you just did, but I also mentioned and I said that this was against teams who have less quality than we have. So we still have to perform well, but it doesn't tell you anything about how we can play against teams who are similar to us or even have better qualities. It's a really important test that we need to go through to see at the end of the season what position we will have. You cannot only win or perform well against small teams, and you cannot pass the group stage or perform well against these small teams. You need to perform well against every teams, against the teams who have a lot of qualities. Well, Celtic in the last 10 years became champion 9 times, I think. It is really difficult to become a champion. I can say so because last year I became a champion. You just need to have a lot of respect for these type of teams, even if it's in a competition or a league where there's maybe only two teams who are decisive each year. You still need to have a lot of respect for Celtic. It's the only team who became a champion in our Champions League group. PSV won easily against. They won at home against a Scottish team, but our away game they didn't win. Celtic, the last 6 matches, they only lost once. The last 10 years they became 9 times champion. So I think that I offend the Rangers supporters or the fans, but Celtic has been a much better team than the Rangers if you look at the results. So then I think that you should scale them in another level. Of course, I'm a Dutchman. I like to watch the Glasgow Rangers because they got for Giovanni Van Bronckhorst, and thinking in that time, I think that they were really good, but the last 10 years, Celtic was much better, performing much better than Glasgow. Your strikers are suspended or they are injured. I'm quite convinced that you already know how to solve this problem, which you will not tell us. But in your opinion, how do you think you can try to make it difficult to Celtic? I think this is a great team who performs well, plays good football. I just told your colleague 2 years ago, Giovanni won in Eindhoven against PSV with a really good football, well organized. I don't follow the Scottish television because it's not broadcasted here in the Netherlands, but it came as a surprise that a team with so many Scottishmen performed that well. Celtic has many other different influences, many Asian influences. They have great players. The coach who went to Tottenham started performing that well. This coach also tries to play with an organized team at the high level. They pressure in a certain way, and we have to try that we can play our own game so that our top strikers who are attacking system will get into the position and try to be dominant against the opponent, and we have to make our build up into perfection so that we can cause them any trouble. Next question, Raymond TV Raymond, and after that NOS. Are you looking forward to this match? Yes, but I do look forward to every game, but especially this one, of course. It's your first time in the Champions League. Well, if you don't count the previous games as qualifiers, so then yes, it's true. That's due to our pandemic that I cannot say that I have experience in Champions League. I think that everybody knows who knows who will play tomorrow. And then there are three players on the attacking system who can play as a forward, left winger, right winger, and as a striker. So we will discuss this as our staff together. We will train, and then we make the definite decision. But you cannot tell for sure that we switch, but it's not definitely the case that we will switch every 5 minutes during the game. So this is an advantage of this lineup. If you play with Jimenez and Ueda, these are two strikers who cannot play in another position, but the three players who will start, they are capable of playing in any other position. Of the opponents, you didn't know much about Celtic. Pusic, your assistant, analyzed them. Where do you think you can harm them? That's because Atletico already played here and Lazio also played. We played there against them, so we know a bit more about them. But where to harm them? Well, I don't know if they have any weak points, but every team plays its pressure on its own way, and we need to answer it in a specific way. And then you hope that our attackers can reach their position so that they can score a goal. It's also the question that you make the right decision at the specific moment. If this brings us to score any goal, well, we will see about that. But they have a great striker, really fast. They have great attackers, very fast due to its pace, the movement, so quickly that they play. We have to play in another intensity, in another pace than last Saturday. There will be a different game. You just mentioned the great atmosphere in the Conference League, in Europa League. At the same time, we saw that the game afterwards there was some quite suspension for the fans. Or do you have anything to tell the fans? Well, the reason that we got any punishment due to UEFA has nothing to do with during the game, but it had to do with what happened when we came up the pitch. I think it's a pity. It's really a shame that some part of the stands are empty, but I cannot imagine that we can give away a rare advantage by fans who would provoke that there will not be any more fans. Like last Saturday showed, our fans are so important. Of course, our players are important, but the fans can create this atmosphere between them and our players so that Santiago, for example, can score a goal. I didn't see any fireworks this Saturday, and it was still a great atmosphere in the stadium. So maybe even like that, they played or performed that well. So we need them. Next question, one line in front. Yesterday, you was your birthday, 45 years. Do you like celebrating your birthday? Well, if it's somebody else who is having a birthday, yes, I do like him. Well, not mine. I didn't bring any people or surfing. I didn't need to serve them, so in that case, I like to be have my birthday. So I didn't. In this group with Lazio and Atletico, isn't the case that you just need to win against Celtic? If you want to continue this group and you need to win, it doesn't matter who's on the program or who will play tomorrow, but it's not as if I underestimate or look at the teams in another way. Like I already mentioned, Celtic is the only champion in our group. The other the other teams are maybe from a stronger competition, but you should have and pay respect to teams who became champion because I know how difficult it is to become a champion. Then talking about systems, your style of the game. When I talk to foreign coaches, and they sometimes tell me these systems, oh, it's so old-fashioned because within 90 minutes, each team needs to be able to play several systems. You just mentioned that you will implement three attacking players, two or three attackers who are capable of playing in any position in the attack. Is your whole team capable of playing several systems during 90 minutes? I wanted to make a joke, like except for Mourinho, you have contact with several international coaches, but now nobody remembers the start of the questions. Nah, well, when you talk about these systems, maybe you refer to Arteta. He told that he has several systems during a game. No, no, no. I hear it quite often, says a journalist. Then he coach continues by saying, no, there are several teams playing with many systems. I think that we have a team in which you can see that the changing a system during the game has been visible. We play 4-3-3, and if the opponent is trying to pressure us in a certain way, that we need to have an answer to that. That can differ, but these differences are quite minimal to see. So how do you vary in your system? You always try to put your players in their strength. If you look at Peixao and Minte, to mention these two players, these are two players who perform really well. They don't need to make this movement. Ivan Ušević is a player who's performing really well when he gets into the ball, but I also need him to create more danger when he doesn't have ball possession and he's attacking. So, for example, if you want the other players to play higher on the pitch, then you need Ivanišević to walk backwards a little bit. So it's not only the individual player to perform well. I think it's about the player more than the system. Any other questions to the coach? Mag ik even vragen, wat denk je van Celtic, Brendan Rodgers, de manager, en welke spelers heb je eigenlijk ontzag voor? Welke bewonder je? Ik bewonder het hele team, want zij spelen voetbal waar ik graag naar kijk. Dat is niet alleen dit seizoen, maar ook vorig seizoen tegen de vorige coach. Ik denk dat Brendan Rodgers heeft het heel erg goed gedaan bij Leicester City. En volgens mij was hij op de halve finale 1 of 2 jaar geleden. Ik denk dat iedereen heeft genoten van het voetbal wat hij speelde. En dit seizoen met Celtic doet hij het weer. Er zijn een paar geweldige spelers als het gaat om bijvoorbeeld de aanvallers. Ook de linker aanvaller. Die spelen echt heel erg diep. Maar ik hou ook wel van het middenveld en de manier waarop zij spelen. Maar in mijn mening moet je kijken, nou goed, natuurlijk heeft iedereen wel individuele kwaliteiten, maar je ziet dat dankzij het team deze individuele kwaliteiten beter worden. En dat is wat mij het meeste indruk maakt. Je hebt het gehad over de vorige coach gehad die naar Tottenham Hotspur ging. Heb je daar nog over nagedacht toen jij naar Tottenham misschien zou kunnen gaan? In de zomer was er sprake van. Heb je het bijgehouden? Nee. Maar ik heb wel gezien hoe ze dit seizoen zijn gestart. Met de vorige coach van Celtic. En ik denk dat hij dezelfde systemen wil invoegen als wat hij bij Celtic deed. Dus het is een genot om naar Tottenham te kijken dit seizoen. Zie jij dan nog grote verschillen met dit seizoen of vergelijking tot vorig seizoen? Nee. Al moet ik eerlijk zeggen dat ik ze niet zoveel heb gezien vorig seizoen. Maar dat komt dus omdat ik net zei dat de Nederlandse televisie niet de Schotse competitie uitzendt. Maar wij hebben wel vorige coaches als Dick Advocaat bijvoorbeeld gehad en Giovanni van Bronckhorst. Die weten wel wat van Glasgow Rangers en die weten wel wat van Schotland. Nou, natuurlijk, voor ons is het lang geleden dat zij daar waren, dus we weten er wel wat van. We weten wel iets van het Schotse voetbal, maar niet zoveel als we het Engelse Premier League kennen. Then we continue with one more question in the back. Trainer, je hebt veel gescoord in de afgelopen 3 wedstrijden. Denk je dat Celtic hier misschien een beetje nerveus over zou moeten zijn? En zouden zij ook hun speelstijl moeten aanpassen, omdat ze zoveel goals hebben kunnen verwachten?
Both of your questions, the answer is no. I don't think that if you played so many old firms that you are nervous for a game at our stadium. Although at the European night this is a special stadium to go to.
Het is natuurlijk wel een heel speciaal team om naar te kijken. En ze hebben zoveel ervaring. En dat ik niet denk dat ze nerveus hoeven zijn omdat wij een paar keer hebben gewonnen van mindere teams in onze eigen competitie. En wat was de andere vraag ook alweer? Of ze hun speelstijl moeten aanpassen. Nou, ik denk dat zij een hele goede strategie hebben die ze altijd proberen toe te passen, waarbij het niet uitmaakt waar ze spelen. Soms wil je iets anders laten zien, maar is de kwaliteit van de tegenstander zo goed dat je ineens moet verdedigen bijvoorbeeld, of omdat zij zo goed zijn. Maar het is natuurlijk onze intentie om de bal zoveel mogelijk in bezit te hebben. Maar ja, dat wil Celtic ook. Dus is het afwachten en zullen we moeten kijken wat er gebeurt. Het is zo lang geleden dat we tegen elkaar hebben gevoetbald. Dus eigenlijk kun je niet zeggen wat er gebeurt als we tegen elkaar spelen. Denk jij niet dat je hem ook moet winnen om een goede start te hebben, maar ook omdat je hierdoor kunt kwalificeren? Ik denk dat elke thuiswedstrijd, Conference League, Champions League of Europa League, en je wil naar de volgende ronde gaan, dan is de beste manier om dat te bereiken door te winnen. Dus zeker het eerste de wedstrijd dit seizoen zijn we slecht begonnen door meteen gelijk te spelen. dat is de reden waarom we op dit moment niet bovenaan staan. Dus goed start is iets wat je altijd wil. Maar ja, je moet natuurlijk ook je tegenstanders respecteren. En Celtic is het enige team dat kampioen is geworden vorig seizoen. En de andere twee, die hebben een hele zware competitie. Die spelen in een grote competitie, dus die moet je ook respecteren. Maar je weet het natuurlijk nooit. Laatste seizoen zijn we doorgegaan met 8 punten. Dus je weet eigenlijk nooit hoe een groep zich zal ontwikkelen. Maar het is duidelijk dat beide teams morgen willen winnen. Maar wij vooral omdat we thuis spelen natuurlijk. Het is lang geleden dat Feyenoord in de groepsfase van de Champions League is gespeeld. Is dit een nieuwe ervaring voor jou? Hoeveel heb je ervan heb je geleerd van je ervaring in de Europa League en in de Conference League? Wat heb je daarvan geleerd wat je er misschien kunt helpen morgen? Er is een heel groot verschil tussen de 3 toernooien. Als je in de Conference League speelt en als je een beetje geluk hebt en je presteert goed, dan kan je ver komen. En met geluk bedoel ik, als je de goede loting treft, dan kun je ver komen. Als je tegen grote teams speelt, dan zie je ook dat ze in de Conference League niet de beste spelers opstellen, omdat hun competitie belangrijker is dan de Conference League. Vervolgens, als je naar de Europa League kijkt, dan zijn er zoveel sterke tegenstanders waar je tegen kunt spelen, dan kun je dat niet permitteren en moet je goede spelers opstellen. In Champions League, ja, alleen maar goede teams, alleen maar goede spelers. Dus dat zijn grote verschillen. Maar wat we wel meenemen is het zelfvertrouwen. We hebben tegen AS Roma, Olympique Marseille of de andere grote teams die we de afgelopen 2 jaar hebben ontmoet. Daar hebben we de ervaring uitgehaald en natuurlijk ook het zelfvertrouwen. En grote wedstrijden zoals tegen PSV en Ajax, daar halen we zelfvertrouwen uit. Het is niet de eerste keer dat we een grote wedstrijd spelen, maar wel de eerste keer in de Champions League. Dat klopt. Okay, then we go on the front. Stephen, is this a stage in which you dreamt of when you started as a coach 10 years ago at PEC Zwolle and sub 14 years old? Wow, dreaming is never a word that I use. I think it cannot become bigger than becoming a champion at Feyenoord. It's unique. As a consequence, you play in the Champions League. So maybe tomorrow I'll say this was indeed more beautiful. But becoming a champion with Feyenoord, it was that beautiful. I can't imagine that playing Champions League will be even bigger or more special. But yes, I do think that as a consequence of becoming a champion, we can play in the Champions League. Do you demand more of yourself now that you play in a higher stage? Every day I demand and now I ask more of myself, but it has nothing to do with playing Champions League because it wouldn't give the credits to the team and the competition in which I performed as well, but it's definitely true that the other teams have performed better, so you need to perform yourself better as well. In July, you said that it's not about playing Champions League. You said you want to be competitive in the top 3 in the Netherlands. How do you think about that now, one evening before the Champions League match? Well, we know how great it is to perform well in Europe, so it has a lot of value, and not only for a team as well as individual players and as a club, but at the end of the season we want to end up in the top, become a champion, or at least qualify for the Champions League. But I don't think I need to motivate anybody for the game tomorrow in the Champions League in our own stadium. Zijn er nog andere vragen? Dan volgens mij niet. Dan gaan we weg. Ja, er is nog tijd voor 1 vraag. Wacht maar even voordat de microfoon bij jou is. Nee, de spelers. Kyogo, de spits van Celtic, hij heeft problemen met zijn schouder. Dat is uitgekomen op zaterdag. Hij moest er eventjes vanaf, speelde wel verder. Zijn jouw verdedigers hiervan op de hoogte en hoe gaan ze hem op testen?
I just read that
Ik heb net gelezen dat de trainer zei dat hij wel kan spelen. Dus dat is voor ons een beetje ongelukkig natuurlijk. Ja, ik had het niet erg gevonden als hij niet zou spelen. Want dat is echt een goede speler voor Celtic. En ik geniet van hem ook al toen hij in Japan speelde. Volgens mij was hij toen een rechtsbuiten. Maar hij is een van de betere spelers van het team. Dus we moeten altijd op hem letten. Ik denk dat we een team hebben. Ik denk niet dat we het team hebben dat iets gaat doen om hem pijn te doen. Our assistant John de Wolf, maybe we had a player, he would as a player would have, hij zou hem hebben geslagen voordat hij in de spelerstunnel naast elkaar zouden zijn. Dat zegt hij tenminste. Maar ja, dat is van vroeger uit. Dat vertelt hij mij de hele tijd hoe dat vroeger ging. Maar ja, dat kan je natuurlijk nou niet meer doen in de moderne voetbal. Heeft ook de VAR has to do. De VAR heeft daarmee te maken. Die staat niet in de spelerstunnel. Maar nee, ik denk niet dat wij het team hebben. Wij gaan niet zulke tactieken toepassen. Wat we wel gaan proberen is hem te verdedigen. Op een zo best mogelijke manier. En wij weten hoe goed hij is. Ook wanneer Celtic de bal heeft. Dus wij gaan onze verdedigers op de hoogte stellen vanuit zijn kwaliteiten en niet van zijn blessure. Dankjewel dat jullie hier waren. Jullie mogen de eerste 15 minuten van de training kijken. En tot morgen.